Okay, so today I'm going to talk about semantic interoperability, which is one of the biggest blockchain elephants in the room. Very few people are talking about. And I spoke about this at a recent summit, and many people asked me afterwards what exactly it means. So I'm doing a short video today to go through some of the key concepts. So many blockchain and digital assets projects fail to commercialize, not because the code is broken, but because the meaning breaks down. And in this video, I'm going to share four different examples, one from the world of stablecoins, two from DeFi, and one enterprise blockchain consortium. So first of all, what is semantic interoperability? Now, when two systems exchange data, we need to make sure that they don't just talk to each other, but understand each other. So we can have perfect technical integration and the APIs and the data points and all that. But if the term, for example, verified or authorized or validated means different things to different parties, then we've got a problem. So think of it like sending a message in perfect English to someone who interprets it with a different dictionary. So let's look at the four examples. Let's look at TradeLens. This was a global trade consortium, 4 billion events, 30 million documents, 70 million containers, quite impressive. And the aim to digitize logistics across the world's biggest ports. Technically, it worked, but it failed as a consortium. So why? Because every port authority, customs, and shipping company have different definitions for key terms. And without a common semantic layer, data becomes misaligned and the trust is eroded and the adoption stalls. So in late 2022, TradeLens shut down, not because the blockchain didn't scale, but because the meaning didn't. Another example is WeTrade, which was another blockchain-based trade fi platform involving more than a dozen large banks, and each of them had unique internal legacy systems. They had data and standards, compliance models, and although they could exchange data via the blockchain, the interpretation of contract terms, payment triggers, or even credit events often differed. And this resulted in friction, delays, mismatches in execution logic. And um, this is a problem because, for example, goods delivered could mean proof of shipment, custom clearance, goods received by the buyer. So it can mean different things to different people. So without shared semantics, smart contracts could trigger incorrectly, or they may not trigger at all. So we need industry-wide standards. And unlike a Swift messaging system, for example, blockchain-based trade finance lacks a unified semantic framework. And blockchain alone cannot solve this. It can just accelerate the mismatch. Now, consider another example, Everipedia. And this was supposed to be a blockchain-based alternative to Wikipedia, and it promised decentralized knowledge, a platform, and it had token rewards, censorship resistance, and all that. But here is the twist: on Wikipedia, a reliable source or a notable topic means something. It is defined, it is debated, it is moderated. But on Everipedia, those definitions broke down. Anyone could contribute, of course, but what would you count as truthful? What is expertise? And crucially, the incentive layer clashed with knowledge integrity. And this is the problem that we are seeing now with some of the decentralized science projects, such as pay-to-peer review projects, for example, where there is no check and balance and accountability on bad knowledge going forward. You can get rewarded with tokens for your contributions, but there is no semantic consensus about accuracy, credibility, relevance, or neutrality. Another example is Terra Luna, the so-called stablecoin that triggered a $40 billion dollar collapse. And it called itself a stable, but it was backed by an algorithm, not the real reserves. And people treated it like digital cash, but the protocol treated it like a balancing act of incentives. And when market pressure broke the peg, the mismatch in semantic expectations, for example, what exactly the word stable means, it led to panic, collapse across the crypto markets. So, four projects, four breakdowns, and one lesson. When meaning fails, the systems fail. And this is not just a blockchain issue. In the machine economy, where we have AI, blockchain, smart contracts, 5G devices, and IoT devices, they are all converging. Semantic alignment becomes not only important but vital. Um, and we need to make sure that the data that is being flowing across the various blockchain platforms, there are agreed definitions. And otherwise, we are just building automation on ambiguity. So semantic interoperability, to conclude, is not just technical interoperability. It's legal, it's cultural, and it's contextual. And what separates a pilot project from a real world system that scales is semantic interoperability. So if your system doesn't understand what your partners mean, how they interpret the data, it doesn't matter how fast or secure you are. So it's time we just stop moving data and start understanding data. So if you're building in blockchain, AI, or digital infrastructure, don't just ask, does it connect? Ask, does it make sense? So I hope this video helps clarify this very important concept of semantic interoperability. Thank you for listening.